Welcome to GiveWorks. A man, his absent son, and some wrenches. We're gonna continue on. I've got some more parts printed out, actually up to a really significant stage, I think. Like really can see the tail end of the A-wing. But first, I have something to show you. Ta-da! I got my own printer. Ha! It's gonna make things funner. It's gonna be great. No, it's just gonna make sunlight reduction a lot easier. It is gotten cold here all of a sudden, so now I'm here in my basement studio. So good old solid rock. But hey, I got more parts. This should really get us up to a good stage. So let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so as you can see here, there's some parts. Got parts printed. Actually, got some stuff already started for the next stage. Gonna get those out of the way for now. But here we go. Here's the ship. This should look familiar. This is about where we got to last time. And so pretty much the whole understructure is done. So kind of up to step 18 is where we're at. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting these next parts put together. As before, I'm really not. I've already glued the studs into it, so we don't have to worry about those. I do have something that happened with one of them that was kind of made for a brief. I'll explain that to you in a minute. But still, this is all going really well. They're printing out really well. The structure, the super gluing together, the dovetails is actually working really well too. So this is really where we're about to see all the real size of this A-wing. I think I showed these before. So originally I printed them just as one part, but then I kind of redesigned it so I could print them this way without support. So it just takes a regular stud. But as you can see, different color grays. Sometimes I didn't plan so well. But it's okay, as I said before, this is a Rebel ship. Sometimes a Rebel ship, they just got parts where they could. And I think, I don't know, I don't remember if I mentioned this before though, because I said I liked the A-wing ship, because I really did. I remember, because I'm a child of the 70s, and so Star Wars was a big deal back then. And so I honestly do remember seeing the original Star Wars in theaters. I still vividly remember the scene where they pick CPO up after the Sand People attack Luke, and that the swipe goes up and it just kind of goes perfectly with C-3PO. I for years thought 3CPO was cut into pieces because of that. But maybe he was. So it was a really cool thought for me. But Um, so I've always liked Star Wars. You know, I liked the prequels when they came out. I was just fascinated because it was the first Star Wars movie in years. Saw Phantom Menace in the theater 10 times. It was just so exciting to have another Star Wars movie. I always really liked the prequels. I always seemed like I was always kind of strange for doing that, but I did. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I remember as a teenager, it was really when the A-Wing was introduced. And that heroic A-Wing pilot that crashed his A-Wing into the forecastle of the Star Destroyer, which really kind of turned the stage of that battle. I remember remembering that A-Wing and just looking at the stats of the A-Wing, and I loved it because it wasn't a big craft. It wasn't, flashy. It wasn't the big flashy A-Wing or X-Wing. It was a little bit smaller for A-Wing, but so I just always kind of liked that because I was a small kid in high school. So everyone kind of teased me about being that, but tried to make up for it by being quicker than most people. And like in scouts and stuff, I really was. I could outrun pretty much anyone in my troop. Just in speed. Made capture the flag fun. But I liked the A-Wing because it was not as big of as the other ships, but it still was a very effective fighting craft. Okay, side note. So this one right here, these two pieces I mirrored when I built them, when I drew them up. I drew this one up, got all the shape right, and then I just used the function mirror on this side. The problem was I did it after I enlarged and put the threads in, so that mirrored the threads as well. So when I went to go glue the studs in, I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't work, and I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, okay, so am I gonna have to take a stud and mirror it? Nope. There is a left-handed thread option in SOLIDWORKS, so instead of righty-tighty, this one's lefty-tighty. But it's just one of those things, if you're mirroring parts, you gotta remember to make sure you mirror the threads too, or don't do the threads until after you mirror the part. That was, half hour scratching my head. Felt kind of weird. But it worked. So. That route. So this is the size of the ship. So that's the front end of the ship. That's as far as it goes out. That is the ship. So when I tried to figure out how big this thing was going to be, I didn't think I ever realized it was 5 times the regular size. It makes me wonder what I'm going to do next. Which I have actually discussed this, but I don't know if I'm going to do 5 times again. That's good size. So here's some parts. So these These ones I ended up doing a little right here and here. Because this sits up higher than this, so, or like there's a slight gap there. Okay, so see like right here, there's a little gap here because I didn't get these portions just right. Need to get that a little bit better. That's why I put that lip on there. Because it's on there, and then kind of makes up for that, so it doesn't give a gap. Right? So, like that gap. There's also these ones actually printed a little deep, a little thicker. You can see right there. It's only like, it's not very much, a tenth of a millimeter, maybe a little bit more. But did that so I can get everything to line up. So when it actually lines up with these parts, because it's up here, fit up a little proud. So I did those to match that. So I think that's going to be a really good addition. So I'm getting really close. I'm getting really excited. But as you can see here, that's how big it is. That is my A-wing. And yes, it's getting heavy. So that's what I've got. I'm starting to get some of the other little pieces printed out to get the stabilizers done. My robot here, I'm working on getting those things printed out. But I think I'm almost there. I think one more time, another couple prints, which is going to be a lot easier with my own printer. So I don't have to worry about printing around other people and other things. So here it is. But here it is. We're about step 36. So when there's only 40, 41 steps. So we're almost there. So as soon as I get the robot done, it does have missiles. So I gotta put those in there, get those drawn out. But yeah, an A-wing. It's what can happen when you look at something like, yeah, you know what, I could do that. And you can get obsessed about something. So anyway, thanks for coming along. Appreciate the step. We've got, I think, one more video and we'll be able to wrap this up and we're good to go. So anyway, thanks for coming along. This is Gibby Works. Man, his absent son, the wrenches, a 3D printer, and an A-wing. So thanks for coming. Whoops. Welcome to Gibby Works. A man, his son, some wrenches. Take 3. 1, 2, 3.